Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome students for the last session of periodic classification of elements. Here you are going to learn about the trends in periodic table. I hope by now you must have understood the modern periodic table, the names of the elements, how they are arranged, what are the common features that are present in the periodic table. Now let's see the trends. What do you mean by trends here? Trends are nothing but the regular variation of properties of elements with increase in atomic number. As we know, the modern periodic table is having the elements arranged based on atomic number. So, it has been arranged in the rows and columns. There are 7 periods and 18 groups in modern periodic table. Once they are arranged, those groups and periods, they are going to show the regular change in properties of elements with increasing atomic number. Now very first trend in the periodic table is valency. So what do you mean by valency? Have you come across this word? Yes, you know what is valency. Valency is nothing but the combining capacity. So it is this important property that helps the atom either to gain or lose electron in order to form a compound or a bond. For any chemical reaction to take place, the combining capacity of an element is very much important. You see the trends in the valency. The very first group, that is hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium. So this is the first group. What is the valency? It will have +1 valency, and all the elements under these group are metals. Similarly, second group 2 will have +2 valency. So what is the trend here? You can see that the valency increases from the left to right of periodic table. So from here it keeps on increasing. After that the valency decreases. So you can see +1, +2, +3, +4. After that it decreases to -3, -2 and -1 and then 0, right? So this is the trend in valency. So depending upon the group, we can say what is the valency. If it is group 1, it has 1 valency, group 2, 2 valency, group 3, 3 valency. Likewise, you can say what is the valency of each element in that particular group. So across the periodic table, the valency keeps on increasing, then it decreases. If you see down the group, will there be any change in valency? No. So down the group, the valency will remain same. If group 1 is having +1 valency, all these elements down the group will have +1 valency. The valency remains constant down the group, whereas changes across the group. The valency for this last group. So this last group, which is that group? What do you call that group? This last group, we call them as inert gases, right? So these group, they will show the valency of 0. So as you can see, the trend is it increases from left to right, then decreases, and finally it will be 0 for the inert gases. Now next, atomic size. Now what do you mean by atomic size? This is the structure of an atom, right? This is the center, the center point from the center of the nucleus up till the last shell. This is the valence shell, the distance between the center of the nucleus and the last valence shell. This region is known as atomic radius, sometimes called as atomic size. So as the radius increases, the size also increases. If the radius decreases, the size decreases. Now see here. Now what is the trend? When we see the elements from left to right of the periodic table, from left to right of the periodic table, the atomic size of the element is decreasing. If you compare this lithium with fluorine, right? Can you see the difference in the size? The atomic size decreases across the periodic table from left to right. Now what happens when it is going down the group? This is down the group. So when we compare lithium with cesium, can you see lithium and cesium? Is there any difference? Yes. What is happening here? The atomic size increases as we go down the group. The trend in atomic sizes, the atomic size decreases across the periodic table and increases down the group. First we are going to talk about atomic size from left to right of the periodic table. Now here we have taken 3 elements. So if you are going to see these elements, lithium, beryllium and boron. So out of this you can see that boron is smallest compared to lithium. Now why this is occurring? So if you are going to see the row, these elements are arranged in a row. The row has same number of shells. If lithium is having 2 rings or the 2 energy levels, beryllium and boron will also have 2 energy levels. So what is increasing here? Since we have arranged the elements based on atomic number, as we move on to the next element, the number of proton increases in each step. Lithium will have 1 proton, will have 1 electron in the outermost shell, but if you see beryllium, it will have 2 electrons. If you see boron, it will have 3 electrons in the outermost shell. Since the electrons are added to the same shell, the type of force, attractive force, is maximum in these elements. Therefore, as the number of proton increases, the effective nuclear charge increases, and this effective nuclear force will keep this valence electron. A closer attractive force will bind them together, shrinking the size of atom. Okay, let's now see, go down the group, the number of energy level increases. Lithium is having how many energy level? 2 energy level. Whereas if you compare this with next sodium, you can see how energy levels are there in sodium, 1, 2 and 3, right? So what you can see? You can see that the energy levels have increased. Now as we move down from lithium to sodium, no doubt there is increase in number of protons. Electrons will also increase because as a whole atom is neutral. But what is happening here? Why is the size increasing? As the distance between the nucleus and the valence electron is increasing. Why it is increasing? Due to addition of 1 more shell. Therefore, the force of attraction between the center of the nucleus and the external valence electron is less. That means they are distance apart, they are far away from each other. Hence, they have bigger size as we go down the group. Okay, let's move on to the next. Next trend is metallic and non-metallic character. Now what is metallic character? It is nothing but the degree of metal character that is present in an element. So this property, as we move from left to right of the periodic table, it decreases. That the metallic character decreases across the period, because we see that most of the metals are concentrated on the left side of the periodic table. So if you see most of the metals, where are they concentrated? They are concentrated on the left side of the periodic table. These are the metals, whatever you see in the yellow are all metals. Okay, now as we move towards the right of the periodic table, we can see these are non-metals. Hence we can say that the metallic property decreases as we move from left to right of the periodic table. Now what's happening here? If you go down, what is happening here? If we go down the group, we can see the metallic character increases. Metals are electropositive, whereas non-metals are electronegative. So as they move across, they lose the capacity to give electrons, whereas non-metals gain the capacity to take electrons. Now what do you understand by electron affinity? It is the amount of energy release whenever you take an atom which is neutral. For example, we have taken chlorine here, which is neutral. Okay, this chlorine is neutral. Now what is happening here? We are going to add an electron to the chlorine. The charge for the neutral chlorine is 0. We know when you add an electron, so it forms what? It forms a negatively charged anion, right? Now what is the amount of energy released when extra electron is added to a neutral atom? That is called as electron affinity. So in this case, the amount of energy released is positive 349 kilojoules per mole. This amount of energy released during the reaction, we call that as electron affinity. Okay, so this will be different for different elements. Similarly, if you are going to talk about ionization energy, again this is the energy required to remove an electron from the gaseous state. Don't get confused. Here we are going to add an electron. That time some energy is released. That energy we call as electron affinity. Whenever you remove an electron, now ionization energy, what you're doing, you're going to remove an electron. You're going to remove the electron from the atom which is neutral. That time whatever the energy is required to snatch away, to pull out the valence electron which is present in the sodium. If you see sodium, outermost shell of the sodium will have one valence electron, right? If you are going to remove that electron from the sodium, there is some amount of energy is required. That is known as ionization energy. Next is electronegativity. Now what is electronegativity? Let's know what you mean by electronegativity. So these are the terms you should know. Electronegativity is an atom's tendency to attract electrons to itself in a chemical bond. Here we are going to talk about the bonded electrons, HCl. If it's going to break, it's going to give you H plus and Cl minus. There is some amount of energy which is present in the bond, and that bond energy, if it is taken by any one of the atom, then that energy is known as electronegativity. So this halogens will have higher electronegativity. That means they are going to attract electron towards them. So highest electronegativity is present in fluorine. Finally, we have completed the trends in periodic table. Okay, so ionization energy increases, electron affinity increases, non-metallic character increases if we move from left to right of the periodic table. As well as when we move from down to top of the periodic table, ionization energy and electron affinity increases. Thank you very much for watching this. Hope you have understood.